Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
I am a lineman for the county. Your call is important to us. Please continue to hold.
So I'm very excited today because this is going to be the first of a couple of videos that you'll be seeing over the next few weeks that have to do with music. If you're new, let me just say welcome, it's a pleasure to have you, and for all of you returning, you know that when it comes to music, I like to go over certain artists in pairs. So, music for me in 2019 was a bit slow. I wasn't necessarily sure how the year was going to end up just because when it comes to music that I listen to, I haven't really been seeing a lot of things that I was interested in. But all of a sudden, over the summer, I heard that so many artists that I like were coming out with new albums. And even trying to find new artists, I wasn't even having much luck. But knowing that this year is going to end off, hopefully on an extremely high note for me personally, in terms of the kinds of music that I listen to, I'm really excited to see how all these new albums are going to sound, and more importantly, I'm really hoping that they're all good. So we're going to start off with the first release that came out so far in 2019, and this was one that was getting talked about a lot, and I didn't know when it was finally going to come out, but in late September, Blink-182 released their album called 9. Now, I have been a Blink-182 fan for so many years, and one of the few things that I've been saying about Blink-182 is, ever since 2003, when they gave us their self-titled record, they went through so many changes in sound, in writing styles, and even changing the band just a little bit, so I was very curious when this new album was going to come out, how it was going to end up, because so far, we've gotten some great albums from them, and some good but not great albums. But I have to say this, guys, 9 is probably the best Blink-182 album I have heard since Neighborhoods. This is one of the most amazing albums from this band. They've really come such a long way since Enema of the State, which is ironically celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, but I remember when they were releasing a few of the singles, I liked what I was hearing, but as a whole package, 9 is probably one of the best albums of 2019. Happy Days is a great song, Blame It On My Youth, Black Rain, Pin the Grenade, Hung Over You, so many amazing songs. This is one of the best listens from beginning to end. It is so hard not to listen to this album from beginning to end. And also, look at the cover. It's just so aesthetically pleasing. I love the look of it. And these guys have truly done something special. They're really turning into icons in pop punk. And I'm so glad to know that as they keep growing, as they keep maturing, I mean, it's kind of hard for them to sing the kinds of songs that they sang in their early years, and some people have even said that some of the lyrics in these songs are very much like their early years, but if that's the case, they're definitely showing it in a true mature songwriting and musicianship fashion, and I'm very happy about that. If you're a Blink-182 fan, I will say that you will really, really, really love this album. I cannot stress that enough. The next album that I want to talk about was one that just came out of nowhere, and I got very excited, and it's one of my favorite bands from the last 20 years, and it's The Darkness. Ever since I heard I Believe in a Thing Called Love, I was hooked on them, and their debut album, Permission to Land, is practically classic rock in a box. After their second album, there was just a massive dead spell. Very similar to what Weezer did after they made their sophomore release. And I wasn't sure if The Darkness was ever going to come back because there were rumors that there was issues with the band. They did break up, they got back together, but now we have their 6th album, which is called Easter is Cancelled. And honestly, guys, I am very, very upset with this release. There is next to nothing on this album that is truly memorable, not too much that really gets me to tap my toes or snap my fingers. I will say that there are some very interesting messages that are given in the songs, particularly Rock and Roll Deserves to Die, as well as We Are the Guitar Men and Heavy Metal Lover, but they just don't seem to have what some of their previous albums have had in the past. I mean, their fifth album, Pinewood Smile, I like that album a lot. I think that it's grossly underrated, and even Hotcakes is a very, very good listen. But Easter is Canceled, not so much. I mean, I definitely will say, if anything, that the cover is definitely interesting, and I also think the title of the album is really funny. But for their sixth album, I'm very disappointed with where the darkness has gone. The fact that they're pretty much like a seesaw. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're really not good at all. And I really am upset, and it makes me nervous to know if this could be the very last album from The Darkness. Could this possibly be the last time I listen to The Darkness? I'm gonna give them another shot because, like a lot of artists that I always say about these types of things, I do give them another shot, and sometimes they do in fact get me back on the fan wagon. But this time around, I am very disappointed with how The Darkness's new album sounds. I really expected more from them, because when you take a look at an album like Blink-182's, which is such an amazing album, this really is like night and day. But that's it, everybody. 2 new albums. I mean, look, this is just my opinion. I'm very curious to know if you've listened to either of these albums, or both. I really would like to know what your take is in regards to these albums and these bands. But in the meantime, guys, that's all that I've got for you now, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.